Okay, well, yesterday we went over the definitions, and I know some students were looking to have these definitions up so that you could study from them. So here it is. If you need to double check your definitions against mine, this would be a good time to put me on pause so you can read the definitions and go back and fix your own. We were practicing using these vocabulary words and putting them to use in our spreadsheet practice sheets that we created in Google Sheets. So you're going to add that sheet into Classroom today as part of your assignment, and we're also going to continue. So yesterday, just a quick review, if you were absent, we talked about putting labels. One sheet in our workbook, all of this is our workbook, named your last name SS Practice. So the first sheet is label practice, and we typed a sentence, and then we went under format and we did some wrapping so that it would all fit within active cell A1 instead of looking like it was all stretched over many of those columns. Then we went to value practice. We added a second sheet, renamed it, value practice, and we still put in a header using a label, numbers, and then we use the numbering pad to type in our single digits 1 through 9, and then we used a formula in active cell A11 to add. Know that all formulas begin with an equal sign. Sum is the answer to an addition problem. So we wanted to add up all of the digits between, or all of the cells between A2 and A10. And then just as the bell rang, we said, let's change 1 to 11, hit enter, and then of course it changed it to 55, because no matter what you put in that cell, it will add it correctly. That's one of the beauties of using a formula. All right, well, we are going to yet today add another sheet, and let's name this, so we'll rename this line graph, because we are going to find data on the internet to create a line graph. So we're just really simply looking for data to input into our spreadsheet, sheet number 3 on our workbook, SS Practice, using spreadsheets. And the website you're going to use, which I have linked on Classroom, is worldclimate.com. Okay, and I am giving you the job to locate 4 cities in different regions of the United States. So I'm going to demonstrate here with the first one, and I'm going to type in Cleveland and search. Now, we really just want to get the data. So notice that Cleveland has many choices, but it does give the latitude and longitude quadrants. So let's look for, Cuyahoga County. Here's the airport. Notice that all of them have the same quadrants anyhow. So I'm going to just click on the one that says Hopkins. And now again we have more. I just want you to find average rainfall. We're going to graph the rainfall of these cities. Now we're going to do a little trick. We're going to do a little copying and pasting to make it a little bit easier. So I first want you to select just the 12 months, not the year, and Control C or copy that. And then we're going to start our active cell on our line graph tab, active cell B1, and watch. If I double click, everything's going to go in B1. If I do Control V, hit enter, and that's not what I want. So I'm going to undo that. Don't double click, but just single click and do Control V, and now it stretches them out all together. Quite helpful. Oh, look at mine. Didn't rename it. All right, let me fix that. Line graph. Okay, so I've got the months there. Let's go back to that. And I don't want it in millimeters, but I want it in inches. So let's select just the 12 months, not the year. Do Control C. And again, we're going to go right underneath it. Do not double click, but a single click and Control V. And now it will go in there. So I need to know what city this is, and I'm going to type Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, I'm going to find information for a few more cities. I'll do, let's see, Miami, Florida. You can do whatever cities you want. I don't care. I'm just thinking of different regions. All right, so those are the 4 cities I'm going to choose. You can choose whatever you want. We're going to go back to World Climate, and you're going to find the rest of your cities going along the same directions. And I want you to notice that I'm just typing the city. Of course, you have to spell it correctly, and it'll give you your choices there. I don't care what rainfall you choose, but it has to be rainfall. And notice I'm not doing the months each time. I'm only doing the data for each city. So now I've got 4 cities. This is my header row. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to underline that, Control U, to make it stand out a little bit. I'm going to bold and underline my cities, and now I have all of my information. If I hold in my Control key, I can make it smaller to see more, and I can also adjust the width of my columns this way. So I'm just literally clicking, not at the arrow, but changing my mouse from the hand to the arrows right and left to bring it all in. And this is solely just so I can see the 12 months all in front of me on my screen. So go ahead and continue doing just that. 4 cities, 1 header of your months, and the data that correlates with the cities. No yearly data. Continue and check back. Okay, so now that you have your data in front of you, again, 4 cities, no extra columns or extra rows in between. You've got your headers of your months and all the data that fits in between. Now we're going to take this data and put it into a graph, put it into a picture. So we have to select our data first of all. And the easiest way to do this is to hold the Shift key down and use the arrow keys to go across and then down. Yes, you can click and drag, but a lot of times students click and drag the wrong thing, or they end up moving cells. So again, the easiest, most controlled way is using the Shift and the arrow keys to select those cells. Now that we selected all of those cells, including A1, we are going to insert a chart or a graph. Now, we are going to be charting data over time. So, over 12 months, we'd like to see the average rainfall. So notice that it gives recommendations right off the bat. And so let's use their recommendation. It's a good recommendation. And we would insert it, but notice it's missing quite a few things. Like, what's our value here? And what is our measurement of Cleveland, Ohio, Miami, Florida? I mean, this title doesn't make sense. So let's go customize it and fix all of that up. This is not a good title. We have all that information in the legend. Cleveland's blue, Miami's red, Seattle's yellow, and so on. So let's make this a title that will illustrate better what exactly we are graphing. So we'll select that, delete it, and let's just call this a rainfall comparison. All right. Next, we are going to scroll down here to our legend and see what other features we might want to talk about. Now, the horizontal axis, it's pretty self-explanatory. Those are months, so we don't need to really change that. But let's find our left vertical and give it a title. And we'd like to say this is in inches, or just inches. And there we have that. We can give it a point size to better see where the different months lie. So we could try that, and then we know exactly, oh, there it is, and have it there. And maybe you would even like to show the value next to it, although that looks a little crowded. So depending on your graph or your chart, you can make your choice and decide whether or not you would like to add the data label. The only other thing that you may wish to change, again, it might be different based on yours, is the difference in grid lines. So let's see if we change. Now, let's go to change that a little bit to be more specific. Might be a little bit easier to read. Okay, when you are satisfied and you have proper capitalization and everything needed, go ahead and insert that. So now you've got your data, you have your chart, inches of rain per month, and your legend. If you had some troubles making your graph or your line graph, your chart, it might be because you did not select all of the data. So if you have a random active cell selected and you go to insert a chart, it's going to come up blank, empty, because there's nothing to chart. That's a common mistake students make. So, okay, once you follow those directions of your own cities, then I want you to press the turn-in button so that you can share it with me. Okay, I look forward to seeing what 4 cities you chose to share and graph with me. Good luck.